Gero here for Umbra Games with a review of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, played on PlayStation 4 for the review, also available on Xbox One and PC. The majority of Syndicate takes place in Victorian London, just as England is preparing to enter its second industrial revolution. For the first time in the series, you can switch between protagonists at nearly any time, with specific missions locked to one or the other. Twin assassins Jacob and Evie Frye decide that it's time the assassins should help the people of London, and after a couple of introductory missions, move to the city and form their own gang called the Rooks. Then they begin systematically taking down a rival, more criminal gang known as the Blighters. Now we also have our modern-day meta-story cutscenes between some of the memories where a few familiar assassin faces beseech you to help find the final resting place of another piece of Eden, objects of power left by the precursors but hidden away in vaults, this time the Shroud of Eden. By playing through the memory of the twins who confronted Templar Crawford Starrick, you as the player can help them find that location. Now Assassin's Creed Syndicate is back to the familiar one-map setup divided into multiple boroughs. Each borough has a suggested character level for the activities and combat contained within. There are essentially four main sources of content, not including the massive amount of collectibles you can scour the city for. The first of these is the memory sequences that unravel, placing corresponding markers on your map for both Jacob and Evie. These missions find the duo collecting information on a target that will end in an assassination. Like Assassin's Creed Unity, the actual story assassinations are a bit more involved, with more stealth opportunities, unique kill opportunities, or you can often seek help from those in the area, unwittingly or otherwise. Most missions have the usual optional objectives that often include stylish variations like killing a target a certain way, not killing any police in the area, or accomplishing objectives faster. When you complete 100% of the optional objectives, you receive boosted experience and money rewards. I'll get to experience and character leveling process here in a second. Now the second main source of content in the game is retaking England from the Blighters. With each borough, there are a number of Templar strongholds, child labor factories, as well as hideouts where Templars with bounties placed on their head reside. As you perform these activities, you're rewarded with experience and gold, but you also begin to take away red sections of the map, and fewer enemy thugs will be roaming the streets to attack you on every block. At the end of the borough cleansing, there's also a cutscene where the twins invite the beaten gang to join the Rooks, allowing you to recruit up to 5 at a time off the streets to help you in your endeavors. Third, we go to London stories. These involve meeting a historical figure from the era and performing various tasks. The figures this time include Charles Dickens, Alexander Graham Bell, Karl Marx, Charles Darwin, and even Queen Victoria herself. The usual rewards are given for completing these missions, but you also get a unique piece of gear for finishing each line of stories. Finally, while a lot of them do tie into the previous activities, there are also what they call associate activities. As you complete some miscellaneous things found roaming around the city, you can gain loyalty with influential people whose goals sometimes align with the Assassin's Brotherhood. Each level of loyalty increase, you're rewarded with unique items. Henry Green, the twins' contact in London, has an interest in the boroughs being returned, and you'll gain some loyalty for some of the borough activities. Reputation with Sergeant Frederick Aberline increases by bringing in the Templar bounties. Ned Weinert rewards you for hijacking enemy stagecoaches, protecting friendly ones, as well as performing train and boat robberies. There are even some carriage races and fight clubs to build up loyalty with Robert Topping. Now, in addition to all these previously mentioned things, it wouldn't be an Ubisoft, or more specifically an Assassin's Creed game, without collectibles. Helix glitches, treasure chests, locked treasure chests, pressed flowers, royal letters, beer bottles, and illustrations, most of which have an icon placed on your map by purchasing various items from shopkeepers. Series staple synchronization points are also still around and fairly necessary to fill in the map with those activity icons. While most games award you with skill points for leveling up, Assassin's Creed levels you up for spending skill points, gained by earning 1,000 experience each. When you earn a skill point, both characters can apply them to their respective skill tree. Once a certain number of points are spent, that character will go up a level, giving them access to new pieces of gear, thus making them more powerful. The skill tree is the same for both characters, except they each have a few locked specific abilities. Jacob's applying more to toughness and combat situations, and Evie's working more towards stealth. It is possible to open every node by getting enough points to take the twins up to level 10. While some gear is awarded for quest completion, more often you'll find schematics, which require any combination of leather, metal, or other materials found in the game's chests. Weapons and other gear have statistics that show the improvement you'll receive, and each can also be upgraded for the cost of some more money and materials. There's also a gang upgrade skill tree that doesn't rely on experience, but instead these same money and materials. You can open new types of units, increase the flow of income, and get price reduction on various items. Per usual with the series, you have gadgets, this time throwing knives, voltaic grenades, and various firearms that make up the assassin's inventory, as well as the often seen berserk darts. You can upgrade capacity and power of all these items as well. The climbing navigation definitely got cleaned up since Unity switched the series to the new version of Ubisoft's engine. That's not to say it's perfect, but I'd say I ended up going where I intended about 90% of the time, with very few instances of missteps blowing my cover. There's now traffic you can hijack and drive, including 1- and 2-horse carriages. You can quite unrealistically swing the cart to take out foes beside you while driving, as well as jump to the roof to hijack a passing cart. One other great addition to the series in Syndicate is the grappling hook attached to your gauntlet. This not only enables quick climbing up of London's buildings, but also enables the use of a zip line to move horizontally between them. Of course, Ubisoft's price for this mobility is the fine-tuning accuracy of some collectibles, forcing you to find and line up shots with the zip line to be exactly on track. I found myself thinking the closer these games are getting to one of Rocksteady Studios' Batman Arkham games, the more enjoyable the gameplay is becoming. Which leads me into the combat. After Unity's fighting feeling like it's taking place underwater with slow and awkward animations and laggy feeling counterattacks, the fast pace at which Evie and Jacob dispatched their foes was very refreshing. There's a lot less waiting around for a counterattack advantage this time around, with square being your main attack, but you can also use X to break a foe's defense with a staggering blow. Their health bars will glow yellow when an attack is coming, and you can press circle to counterattack, and your character will much more smoothly turn to address that incoming blow. If you get more than one target down to low HP, you can perform a variety of brutal finishers that switch to a brief cinematic of the deaths. Various skills will drain enemy health faster with higher hit combos, and you can also work various assassin's tools in with opened combos as well. There's a perk system where they open by performing combat and other moves a specific number of times, giving you experience for each one performed along the way. This includes things like cover assassinations, knife kills from cover, and double and triple, and even higher, multi-finishers. One simple thing that was absent from Assassin's Creed Unity that's present in Syndicate that I didn't even realize till I was waiting in that first haystack was the assassin's ability to whistle to attract enemies. They'd better not ever leave that out again. It was now another recognizable flaw with Unity's gameplay. One other mechanic that is used heavily in Syndicate is the ability to kidnap people. If you can get behind targets without them noticing you, you can press the circle button to hold them close to you and transport that target without being noticed. This can be crucial in the bounty hunter missions for Aberline, but also comes more heavily into play in other missions where you can do this with a cop or a guard and sneak past others. The faster you walk, the larger your discovery circle is, so sometimes you'll have to pace yourself a little bit to get through. At first, targets will struggle, and you may have to hit the X button at times to keep them restrained, but there's also a skill in the tree for that. Now, I didn't think I was going to enjoy Victorian London as much as I would of something like Revolutionary Paris, but Ubisoft just nailed this environment. From London's parks to its palaces and pubs and dark alleys, the environment ended up being a character all to itself. The Thames River presents an almost Frogger-like addition as you jump from boat to boat, moving up and down the river. Now, one other point of interest is participating in the stories of some of the more controversial figures presented here. Protecting Darwin, for example, from people insisting that we didn't come from monkeys but were God's creation, and tearing down posters where they drew gorillas with his face on them. Then there's saving Karl Marx from assassins as he works to bring unions into being with the Workers' Party. Alexander Graham Bell asks for assistance in constructing us telegraph lines to stop the misinformation of news from the Templars. Goes a little more lighthearted as you ghost hunt with Charles Dickens, but even that mission set is not without its weight. Found these stories to be much more interesting than the usual assassination trail of the main campaign, as those plots have become pretty formulaic. As I mentioned also in my Unity review, the modern day story contributions feel like they're just getting in the way at this point. Also though, contrasting to Unity, I was worried about the stability of gameplay heading into Syndicate, and while the game's not without its usual glitches, we're actually back to a quality title. In fact, I was actually kind of close to going for the Platinum Trophy on this one, with Black Flag being the only one in the series I actually did that with. There were just a few that were kind of tedious to entice me. Overall though, Assassin's Creed Syndicate creates a great environment in Victorian London, speeds up combat and makes it fun again, has mostly solid play control in its climbing system, provides a lot of activities and options to complete missions to keep them fairly fresh. There's some interesting side plots, but a fairly generic main story, increasingly powerful gear to obtain and craft, several ways to upgrade your character and the gangs, and a couple new mechanics to the series including the grappling hook and zipline, as well as vehicle hijacking. Rated as an open-world mission progression adventure game, Assassin's Creed Unity hits a 74 out of 100 on a true 1-to-100 scale, with 50 being an average game. This is Gero from Umbra Games. Thanks for watching. As always, feel free to hit that subscribe button for notifications on new videos, or follow me on Twitter @Umbra Games.